We are glad to welcome you to our channel. Kindly subscribe to our channel and share our videos with your friends and relations. And click on the bell icon for instant notification whenever new videos are uploaded on this channel. Rest assured that we are going to have a very exciting and inspiring discussion. Let's dive into the lesson right away. Hello everyone and welcome to today's lesson on the top rules for using adjectives. Adjectives are an essential part of our language as they help us describe and modify nouns, making our speech and writing more vivid and engaging. By mastering these rules, you will enhance your communication skills and be able to express yourself more effectively. This is English Classes Online, and I am your host, Benjamin. Let's dive into the world of adjectives. Rule number 1, describe a noun, not a verb. That is the first rule. Adjectives are used in describing nouns, not verbs. All right, that is rule number 1. Let's look at examples. Mark is an intelligent boy. The adjective here is intelligent and it is modifying or describing the noun boy. The atmosphere in the courtroom was calm. The adjective here is calm and it is describing the noun atmosphere. Okay? This brings us to rule number 2, specific versus general. This rule states that you need to use adjectives to give specific details rather than general ones. When you use adjectives to give specific details, you make your speech or writing more engaging, more descriptive, more vivid. Let's look at using adjectives to give specific details and how it makes your writing more descriptive and engaging. For example, she ate a delicious chocolate chip cookie. You see, the adjectives here, delicious chocolate chip cookie. Now you are making a specific description here. All these are used to specify the type of cookie, making it more specific. All right. Unlike when you simply say she ate a cookie, that's just a general statement. It doesn't give you any picture of the type of cookie that the speaker or the writer is referring to. Rule number 3, before a noun or after it. Now, this rule states that adjectives can be used directly before the nouns they describe or even after it if it is separated by a verb. Okay, let's look at examples. That tall man is our new English teacher. Now, the adjective here is tall and it comes before the noun man, which it describes. Then the second example, that man is tall. Now, the adjective is tall and it is used to describe man, but instead of coming before the noun it describes, it comes after it because it is separated by the verb is. That man is tall. Okay? Rule number 4, the same degree. Now, this rule states that when two adjectives describe the same noun, both of them should be expressed in the same degree. You understand that adjectives are used in degrees. You have comparative, and you have superlative, okay? And of course, let's look at examples. Rose is the neatest and best behaved student in the school. Of course, you have to add the definite article here. Rose is the neatest and best behaved student in the school. So neatest is in the superlative degree, and best behaved is also in the superlative degree. Let's take another example. Ronaldo is the strongest and fastest player in the team. So both strongest and fastest are in the superlative degree, okay? This brings us to rule number 5, dealing with absolute adjectives. This rule states that some adjectives cannot be graded or compared. They are called absolute adjectives. You don't need to compare them. Let's look at examples. For example, if you say Mary's bag is more unique than yours, it's incorrect because the verb unique is an absolute adjective and it doesn't have to be compared. You cannot say more unique or most unique. No. When something is unique, it is absolute. Okay. And so the correct thing is to say Mary's bag is unique. Let's look at other examples. That supermarket is the most perfect place for shopping. When you say most perfect, it is incorrect because the word perfect is an absolute adjective and doesn't need to be compared. So the correct thing is to say that supermarket is the perfect place for shopping. Absolute adjectives do not need to be compared. And we have a number of examples, as you can see here. Words like complete, infinite, true, false, correct, final, mortal, entire, whole, defective, flawless, fatal, alive, dead. If something is dead, it's dead. You can't say more dead or most dead. If it's dead, it's dead. Perfect, unknown, full. If something is full. Imaginary, superior, you know, inferior, possible, impossible, empty, guilty, known, fictional, free, singular, hopeless. If something is hopeless, you don't, that's an absolute. Invisible, necessary, absolute, saturated, unique, middle. These are all absolute adjectives, and absolute adjectives cannot be intensified or used to compare. Okay, like when you say good, better, best, you cannot say, or when you say beautiful, more beautiful, most beautiful, you cannot say complete, more complete, most complete. No, if something is complete, it's absolute. Okay. This brings us to rule number 6, dealing with predicate adjectives. This rule states that some adjectives cannot be used before nouns and they are known as predicate adjectives. You know, when you talk of predicate, you have a sentence can be divided uh, into two. Okay, when you talk of the parts of a sentence, you can talk of two parts, okay? The subject, two traditional parts of a sentence. You talk of the subject and the predicate, okay? For example, if the subject here is John, is a good boy, for example. John is a good boy. So this is a sentence, and John is the subject. Is a good boy is the predicate. These are the two traditional parts of a sentence. This is just to let you understand the meaning of predicate, okay? And that is exactly what it is. But at this point, let's now take a look at examples of what we mean by predicate adjectives. For example, the man is alone. You cannot use this as a modifier, before a noun. It cannot be used before a noun. So you cannot say he is an alone man. No, you can't use alone in that way. So when an adjective can only be used, after a verb, for example, it is known as a predicate adjective. The rule is that it cannot be used before nouns. Now let's take a look at another example. The woman is ill. The word ill is a predicate adjective, so you cannot say she is an ill woman. No. Unless when ill, is used in another sense, like when you say an ill-gotten wealth or an ill motive. That's a different thing. But when the meaning is that someone is sick, you can say is a sick woman, but you cannot say is an ill woman. So the word ill is a predicate adjective. Other adjectives that are predicate adjectives include alive, away, afraid. You can say someone is afraid. You can say the boy is afraid, but you cannot say he's an afraid boy. No. Alike, glad, well, sure, sorry. Okay. You can say he is well, but you cannot. You can say John is well, but you cannot say John is a well man. No. You can say John is a good one, but when the word is well, it cannot come before an adjective. So these are predicate adjectives. So let's move on to rule number 7, uh, dealing with a preposition. Adjectives are placed after a noun when they are used with a preposition. That is the rule. When you use adjectives with a preposition, they come after a noun. Okay? For example, he wanted a piece of land suitable for farming. You see, suitable comes after land because it is used with the preposition for. He wanted a piece of land suitable for farming. Another example, Tony's action is something worthy of emulation. You cannot say it's a worthy something of emulation. No, it must come after the noun once it has to be used with the adjective. Tony's action is something worthy of emulation. Another example, the couple found the beach conducive for relaxation. Conducive for relaxation, So that is the rule. And then we have another example. He mentioned 3 factors responsible for the crisis. Factors responsible for the crisis. Okay? You cannot say he mentioned 3 responsible factors. No. Factors responsible for the crisis. Well, so when adjectives are used with a preposition, they are placed after a noun. Okay? So that is the rule. Now, rule number 8, comparatives and superlatives. The rule states that most one-syllable adjectives add R or ST or ER and EST to form the comparative and superlative respectively. Let's look at examples. Mary's parents are richer than Susan's parents. Richer, you have rich, richer, all right? Henry's car is bigger than yours. Big, bigger, okay? Mike is the neatest student in the school. Neat, neater, neatest, okay? So that is the way it is. Then rule number 9, adjectives word order. And this rule states that when two or more adjectives are used to describe a noun, they should be arranged according to the adjective's word order. And I have an acronym that I have coined that will help you to know how adjectives are arranged. And this I call those as comp. Those as comp. D stands for determiner, O for opinion, S for size, A for age, this second S for shape, C for color, O for, uh, of course, O for origin, okay, O for origin, M for material, and P for purpose, okay. So that is the order. Let's look at examples, okay. Dr. Williams bought a new green Japanese car. So when you look at the words green, the words new, green, Japanese, and sports, they are all adjectives. And how do we arrange them? You look at those as comp. New is age, and age comes here. Okay, age comes before color. Green is color, and color comes before origin. Japanese talks about the origin of the car. And then sports is purpose. For what purpose is the car used? For sports. That's why it's called sports car. So this is the way it is arranged. A new green Japanese sports car. You cannot say a sports new Japanese green car. No, you model everything up. It must be arranged according to the adjectives word order. I have a video that explains in details how the rules apply. Okay. Second example, the new secretary is a beautiful young British woman. You see, beautiful is opinion. So after determiner, this second O in those as comp is opinion. So when you say someone is beautiful, it's an opinion adjective. Okay. Then young is age. Okay. After opinion, then you have size, and then you have age. So age comes after opinion, and that is the way it is arranged. British refers to origin or nationality, and that is the O before material and purpose. So British woman. The new secretary is a beautiful young British woman. So if you say the new secretary is a British young beautiful woman, it is incorrect because you have failed to arrange these adjectives according to the adjectives word order. All right. And this brings us to rule number 10, dealing with two-syllable adjectives. This rule states that some two-syllable adjectives can take ER and EST, or more and most as comparative and superlative forms respectively. So you have alternatives. Let's look at examples. Wealthy, wealthier, wealthiest. So it's a two-syllable adjective. So you may choose to use wealthier and wealthiest to compare something that is wealthy. Or you can say more wealthy or most wealthy. So those are alternatives. Another example is simple. Is a two-syllable adjective, simple. So you can say simpler or simplest. Alternatively, you can say more simple or most simple. That's the rule. Another example is deadly. It's also a two-syllable adjective. So you can say deadlier, deadliest, okay? Or you can say more deadly or most deadly. Look at the word handsome. Some people get confused when they hear people saying handsomer or handsomest. It's rarely used, but it is correct. So because it's a two-syllable adjectives, you may add er and est as comparative and superlative forms respectively, or you may decide to use more handsome or most handsome. So these are all acceptable ways of comparing. Then rule number 11, the last but not the least, deals with double comparative, and this rule states that double comparatives, both er and more, cannot be used at the same time. Let's look at some examples. If you violate this rule, you can say something like honey is more better than sugar. You often hear people making these grammatical mistakes. This is called double comparative. If something is better, you cannot put more, because you are already using a comparative, and so if you add more to better, you are using double comparative, and that makes it incorrect. So the correct thing is to say honey is better than sugar. Okay? In some absurd usages, you hear some people saying that something is worse or even more worse. The word worse doesn't exist in English. When you talk of bad, worse, worst, but you cannot say worse, okay, or even more worse. No, if something is worse, it is worse. It cannot be more worse or worse, right? So those are examples of double comparatives which are not acceptable because they are grammatically incorrect. And this brings us to the end of today's lesson. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. I look forward to seeing you in the next class. Many thanks for watching today's video. A big thank you to all of you out there for being part of today's episode. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, kindly subscribe to this channel. Subscribe now as a way of giving us support. For notification about new videos, click on the bell icon. You will find the bell icon. Click on it so that whenever a new video is uploaded, you will be instantly notified. If you have actually enjoyed the video, like and share the video with your friends and relatives. This is very important. If you have any comments, leave your comments below. Any questions, any suggestions, we would gladly receive them and respond promptly and positively to them. See you in the next video. I look forward to always seeing you in the new video. Thank you